Aaron Rowan and Benji Molina and the hitters that the Giants have.
Rowan fouls it off. Tommy just told you that Aaron Rowan in his career has hammered the fish. You see what he's done this series, 7 for 14. 363 in his career, and in this ballpark, 365. It's bad enough that there's one of those guys in the lineup, but Molina's numbers are even better. Rowan, even his foul balls are line drives right now. He has got a 17-game hit streak. West, the 22-year-old, he will be 23 in 7 days.
Yeah, a lot of that damage that Aaron Rowan did against the Marlins, a lot of it the 2 years he was with Philadelphia.
West got in on him. Brett Carroll's out there in right field tonight. Let's meet the rest of the defense.
And that's a good start for Sean West to get rolling. Let's check out the defense and see how it sets up tonight with Coghlan, Cody Ross, and Brett Carroll. Wes Helms starting at third base. Jorge Cantu, the other side of the diamond, and Ronnie Paulino catching the 6'8" lefty.
Edgar Renteria, the former Marlin, swings and misses. Renteria, kind of the Giants' stopgap measure at shortstop. They signed him to a 2-year contract. Actually paid him quite well. Over $18 million for those 2 years. And they're hoping that Renteria continues his career numbers, but that's a gamble, so to speak, with a shortstop at 33. Renteria hit 270 last year. A little drop down from his numbers in Atlanta.
Edgar now with over 2,000 career hits. I think you can see the rain as this game started. If it stays like that, everything's okay. The worst thing that could happen would be to have to shut down a couple of pitchers.
It's not easy to shut down the big unit. Carroll, right in his tracks, makes the catch. The Giants have to be just in disbelief, Tommy, that number one, this game has started on time. Number two, that they actually got to take batting practice on the field.
I think it's the first time in 5 or 6 days that they've been able to take batting practice on the field. They have endured 5 straight days of rain, totaling 9 hours and 22 minutes of delays.
A strike to Randy Wynn.
So to the Giants, a mere mist.
Yes. Summer rain. Randy Wynn fights that pitch off, and West out front 0-2, and you got to like the rhythm that the big kid is in already. His last start, as Tommy noted, against the Brewers, looked like he lacked energy. Fastball, there's some energy for you. A high heater at 94 miles an hour. Bring on the big unit.
I'm Brett Carroll.
Presentado por KFC.
Undercover. Just a little drizzle. Won't hurt anybody here. Marlins batting order. Against Randy Johnson, Chris Coughlin's going to lead off. Wes Helms will play third base. Bonifacio gets the night off. Hanley, followed by Cantu. Dan Uggla, Cody Ross, Ronnie Paulino. BC gets the start, and Sean West in the 9 spot.
Well, we have talked a lot about the 6'10" left-hander, member of the 300 Club. Only 7 left-handers are members of that club, making start number 598 is Randy Johnson. He has gone through a lot to get to this point with back surgeries and getting himself in shape and getting himself ready to pitch every 4 or 5 days. Now, tonight, he's pitching on 3 days rest.
And Coughlin stands in. First pitch, fastball is a strike. There was a day when that would be a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, not an 89-mile-an-hour fastball.
And certainly an experience for Chris Coughlin.
Slider misses inside. You could hear home plate umpire fielding cold breath with Gary Cedarstrom, Jim Wolf, and Brian Onora out on the bases. Coughlin homered last night, and he drills that one into center field. Rowan won't get it. It kicks by him. Coughlin around first, and a nice job of popping up as Rowan got to the ball. I like Coughlin when he plays the game.
Boy, nice swing by Chris Coughlin. Mr. Coughlin meets the big unit. There's the defense. Torres, Rowan, and Wynn in the outfield. Uribe, Renteria, Emmanuel Burris, the second baseman. We've enjoyed watching Pablo Sandoval at first and Benji Molina behind the plate.
All right, here's Wes Helms to face Randy Johnson. He has 22 previous at-bats against Johnson. He's 4 for 22 with 13 strikeouts. But you know what? There's a long line in front and behind Wes Helms.
Yeah. Well, and that was in different times as well. Randy Johnson never a great move to first base. He, in years past, didn't have to worry about it too much. Not many guys got over there.
Johnson's won 5 games this year, and in 5 of his starts, he's allowed 1 or fewer runs. And so there are nights where he comes out and looks like the old big unit, like he did in Washington on a rainy afternoon just 4 days ago.
Pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 hits, a run, and it was an unearned run.
I think the biggest concern about Johnson in that game was a ground ball that he had to make a play on where he landed awkwardly on his left shoulder. He got bullpen help, and the Giants pen closed out that 5-1 win against the Nationals.
He'll throw that change up, turn it over a little bit. And as we've talked about, the slider at one time, one of the deadliest pitches in baseball, down and into right-handers. Not as sharp and as biting as it used to be.
Coughlin's at first. He's running. Helms hits a little fly ball down the line and out of, well, I was about to say out of reach, but I think the ball and the wall and Randy Wynn all converged about the same time.
Chris Coughlin is a good base runner. He picked that up right away, but you mentioned when he rounded first base after his base hit. First of all, he took a very good turn. Now, this is a good lesson for kids. You want to put on the brakes? Just go down into a little pop-up slide. Once he saw that Rowan had that ball in front of him, there's the slider.
And there's the 14th career strikeout against Randy Johnson for Wes Helms. First on leaderboard. It's got to be strikeout related. All time, Nolan Ryan 5.714. And that is up to the minute. That includes the Wes Helms strikeout.
Okay, you ready? We'll have some fun with these things throughout the evening. The hitter who has struck out the most against Randy Johnson, Ricky Henderson, 30 times.
He's going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Coghlan got a great jump. Molina's quick throw, and Coughlin's in there with a stolen base.
Nicely done by Chris Coghlan. He had a pretty good jump on that ball that Wes hit foul, and then went right back, got a good jump again, and is in scoring position now for Hanley. There's the jump. He takes a peek, but it's a straight steal. Third stolen base this year.
So Coughlin's in scoring position. Hanley facing Randy Johnson for the first time. And he pops it up. Sandoval makes the catch.
Just a good pitch by Randy Johnson. I think you saw Benji Molina move inside. They wanted to tie up Hanley with that first pitch fastball. So, okay, no longer is the fastball 98 miles an hour, but it's located perfectly under the hands, and Hanley pops it up.
Cantu now 2 for 16 in his career against Randy Johnson. Johnson's winning percentage, too, is outstanding. 300 wins, just 164 losses, and an ERA of 3.28. The winning percentage for Johnson is the 5th highest among all of the 24 300-game winners. Lefty Grove has the best. Christy Mathewson and Roger Clemens. They are 1, 2, and 3. Cantu's ground ball sucked up by Uribe, who throws him out. So the Marlins leave Coghlan in scoring position, and we're underway. The humidity, 92%. And to the northwest, rain is a-coming. There, now there's a fan. Sean West now will face Benji Molina with Pablo Sandoval and Juan Uribe right behind him. Now, if you were Weight Watchers or one of those diet food outfits. Here would be 3 guys that you could sign up at the start of the season and say, we're going to put Benji Molina, Pablo Sandoval, and Juan Uribe on Plan X. I think Bruce Bochy was talking about them earlier, and he said the Giants hired a new chef this year and put a much bigger emphasis on nutrition and all of that. And Bochy felt that maybe the food tasted too good.
Jenny Craig's favorite team.
That's right. Sandoval, and there's Boch, the longtime skipper of the Padres, and now in his 3rd year as the Giants manager. Sandoval is a roly-poly bunch of fun, though, to watch. I mean, he's energetic.
Yeah, and a guy who can hit.
Yeah.
You know, you forget about those numbers because you see what he's done coming up in the minor leagues. Always hit 300, and he's continuing to do that here.
He's animated, too, at the plate. Always talking to himself. Even when he takes a pitch, he's jumping around. It's Ugla. 2 pop-ups. Sean West has the first 5 outs.
Sean's made some nice pitches because so far the hardest hit ball was the line drive by Renteria. But he's been able to get on some hitters' hands underneath, a few pop flies, and that's always a good sign.
You know, in some ways, for Mark Wiley and for Freddie Gonzalez, Sean West is auditioning to stay in the rotation. Because the numbers are starting to thicken in terms of guys that can start and are here to start, with Ricky Nolasco back and Andrew Miller back. Sean West certainly had a great start against the Mets 2 starts ago. 7 innings, 1 run. And this is the guy we saw at Citi Field, Tommy, not the guy we saw here.
Yeah,
against Milwaukee.
You mentioned and you used the term energy. He's got some energy out there tonight. Probably had a nice meal before the game, get himself ready.
Bonds-like. Hanley charges, throws on the run, and Sean West goes 3 up and 3 down for the 2nd straight time. That's cute. Randy Johnson, our Toyota Trends, since turning 40, is 72 and 50, and has made 156 starts.
more wins as a 40-year-old than as a 20-year-old.
Amazing. 236 of his wins have come since turning 30. That one is smacked in the left. Ugla jumps on that pitch. Daniel has a leadoff single here in the second.
Had not faced Randy Johnson a lot. That was only his 4th AB against him, but his first hit. So, yeah, you know, you get a little smile. You think, yeah, that guy's a 300-game winner. We talked about the string of pitchers the Marlins have faced and will be facing. It's a tough stretch over the next 8 games.
Well, the Giants, of course, feature 3 Cy Young Award winners, and the Marlins are now seeing the 3rd. They saw Barry Zito and, of course, Tim Lincecum. Lost both those games, and get a look at a guy who won 5 Cy Youngs in Randy Johnson. And who's on deck?
Tomorrow night they'll see Chris Carpenter, the Cy Young winner in 2005.
Oh, joy.
And then Friday night in Toronto at the Rogers Center, they'll see the hottest pitcher in baseball, Roy Halladay.
Oh, go get him.
He won the Cy Young Award in 2003.
Cody Ross fouls it back. And it's 0-2. 5 Cy Youngs. Randy Johnson won 1 of them in Seattle, and then 4 of them in an incredible run in Arizona.
His run, if you put together and look at his numbers from his run as a Diamondback, simply incredible.
And of course, one of his greatest moments in his career came in the World Series in that 2001 season. Ross hits a high pop-up, and it's out of play. Johnson in that series, in Game 2 against the Yankees, threw a 3-hit shutout and struck out 11. Then he came back and won Game 6. And then in Game 7, the next night, he came back to get the last 4 outs. Remember, the Diamondbacks came from behind. Luis Gonzalez with the game-winning hit. A lot of people forget that it was Johnson who came back the night after he started.
That's amazing.
To finish that game.
That's like in an NCAA Super Regional.
That kid from Austin. Or that kid from Texas.
Yeah.
Named Austin. He ended up going 3-0 in that World Series because he got the win in that Game 7 as well. And he and Kurt Schilling were co-MVPs.
Yeah, 3-0 with a 1.04 ERA.
That's not the only time in his career that he's come marching out of the bullpen triumphantly. Remember that epic ALCS against the New York Yankees. Actually, it was the division series against the Yankees in '95. In the deciding Game 5, that one where Edgar Martinez double scored both Cora and Griffey. Johnson came out of the bullpen in that one as well on 1 day's rest. He came in and pitched 3 innings.
Wow. You know, you're talking about that 01 World Series. Of course, the base hit that made Randy Johnson the winner off the bat of Luis Gonzalez. The Gonzo bloop of Mariano Rivera.
Love you, baby.
Cody Ross takes down low and the count's 3-2. Johnson himself was a Yankee for a couple of seasons. Ronnie Paulino is on deck. 2005 and 2006 was Johnson a Yankee. Last year with Arizona, he was 11-10 and made 30 starts. Look out. Ross strikes out, and his bat ends up about 5 rows in.
Fool, let's go, and boy, look out. And thankfully, the bat found some empty seats.
So here is Paulino. As we discussed last night in talking about Tim Lincecum and the teams that passed on him, there's no such thing as a sure thing when you're drafting baseball talent. And with Randy Johnson, the Montreal Expos weren't quite sure what they got. You had a chance to see him as a minor leaguer.
Yeah, I mean, it was in '85, second round. He was picked in the second round. He was a teammate of Mark McGuire's at the University of Southern California. You know, you saw a big, lanky, wild left-hander, and you didn't know if he would be able to put it together. And he certainly, with a tremendous amount of hard work and determination, has.
Randy Johnson, 45. Grew up in Livermore, California, in the East Bay. And a strike. And I say that because we're on the eve of the baseball draft. And, of course, Steven Strasburg, the right-hander from San Diego State. Scott Boras doing all he can to convince everybody that he is a sure thing.
Let's just say Steven Strasburg's going to make more in his signing bonus than Randy Johnson probably made in his first 10 years. And to me, that's not right.
Starting on the left, down this list of Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I think we said 6 left-handers. Boy, that's some great names.
And will Tom Glavine ever add to?
And look at Randy Johnson, a chance to pass certainly Lefty Grove and a good chance to pass Tom Glavine.
Will Glavine ever add to his 305? There's Brett Carroll with 1 out, runners first and second. Brett Carroll has yet to hit a home run in the big leagues. He's come close. He's hit the ball hard. He's hit a ball off the very top of the wall in Citi Field. Hit a ball high up the wall here. One and one.
Okay, you look at some of those numbers. 5 straight years, Randy Johnson had 300 or more strikeouts.
Brett Carroll, left field, get out of here!
He got it, and he did it off a 300-game winner.
What a thrill.
All of a sudden, Brett Carroll starting to get a few starting assignments against some left-handed pitching. That swing will keep him in the lineup against some lefties. Nice going. Congratulations, BC. He knew it. Quick peek, head down. He's a professional. He's not going to show anybody up.
There's Sean West. Remember the reaction of his teammates when the ball hit the top of the wall in New York? I mean, his teammates were crestfallen because they thought he'd finally hit one. And it's not like he's struggled at the big league level over a long period of time. He hasn't had a whole lot of playing time or at bats.
So Brett Carroll saved the moment. He waited for a 300-game winner. Had to be a thrill right there for Sean West.
Just to strike out.
Just to step in and face Randy Johnson. Sean West was 2 years old when Randy Johnson made his major league debut in 1988.
So it's a 3-run shot and a 3-0 lead. Here's Coughlin.
Brett Carroll, by the way, Rich, 5 for his last 13, 385.
I'm sure there's a lot of thoughts going through Brett Carroll's mind right now. One of them might be, I hope the rain doesn't get any heavier.
And if he's thinking about having Randy Johnson sign a ball for him. He might wait until the Marlins go to Arizona, or go back to San Francisco.
Well, hopefully someone got that ball, and he'll get that ball back.
Well, a fan made a nice catch out there, so we know somebody got it.
Coghlan got backed up on that fastball. Chris singled and stole a base back in the first. There was a time where that slider had a nickname. It usually came in the low 90s and was called Mr. Snappy. And that went with the 98, 99 mile an hour fastball.
Mr. Snappy still has a few Ks left.
Yes, like 4 of them tonight. But one fastball didn't get by Brett Carroll. It's given the Marlins the lead, and Sean West will take that lead into the third inning on a drizzly night in South Florida. Andres Torres, Emmanuel Burris, and Randy Johnson. To face West, Rich Welch, Tommy Hutt, along with Frank Fort. Glad you're with us tonight. Marlins and Giants playing the 4th game of this series. The Giants have won a couple. Marlins looking for a split. The Cardinals probably arriving right about now. St. Louis tomorrow night, as Tommy noted, trotting out Chris Carpenter with his 4-0 record and his 0.71 ERA. The Cardinals today lost to Colorado 5-2.
He talked about the series. The Marlins and the Giants have played 3 one-run games. And even the last game of the Milwaukee series, the Marlins won 4-3. So they've played 4 straight one-run games. They've gone 2-2 in those games.
Torres walks. So a leadoff walk here in the third. When the Yankees arrive, there'll be a Fish Friday on the 19th. 7:10 start on that Friday, the 19th. Grab a CBS 4 for 54 pack. Play Billy Bingo for your chance to win a Chris Bolstad autographed baseball. 1-877-MARLINS or visit marlins.com. West now facing Emmanuel Burris. This is the part of the Giants order. It's not an imposing order. We told you they've had trouble scoring runs and hitting homers. But this is the part of the order you really have to go after. Torres, Burris in the pitcher spot.
Make an adjustment now for Sean West, working out of the stretch.
You know, I've been watching the mound area to see where West lands and where Johnson lands. They're about the same in terms of stride, but West's landing point is closer to first base.
Neither has as long a stride as Tim Lincecum.
That's a great point.
Which is amazing. Yeah, they each stand a little differently on the pitching rubber. There's Sean West.
Lower his average.
Swing and a miss. And he struck him out. Of particular note, as we look at Randy Johnson's stride, watch how he lands
on that instep. So very similar in their strides.
You can see the landing points there. West's is closer to first, Johnson's closer to third.
You would think, Rich, that every young left-hander that had a desire to pitch at this level has read that story of the encounter that Randy Johnson had with Tom House and Nolan Ryan about, instead of landing on that heel, land on that instep.
Oh, because all you have to do is look at his statistics, and you can almost find that date in his stats from 92 to 93. I mean, in 92 he was 12 and 14. He walked 144 batters. 93 post meeting, 19 and 8, a 3.24 ERA. He struck out 308.
And you could see as the years went by how the walks went down.
He never walked more than 100 from that point on.
And he had back-to-back years, I believe, 100 or more walks.
3 consecutive years.
3 straight.
Yeah, 120, 152, and 144. But from that point on, he became dominant. He was scary. In fact, he might have been scarier to face in his early years.
Oh, yeah.
When the ball was going all over the place and he was walking guys.
Freddie Gonzalez faced him in the Florida State League when Randy Johnson was pitching for West Palm Beach, the West Palm Beach Expos. Freddie believes that he got one hit and struck out numerous times, but he believes the one hit was about an 89-mile-an-hour fastball, he said, but he found out later it was a changeup.
Johnson trying to bunt, and he comes up short. So that'll go as a strikeout. So first time through the Giants' order, Sean West has 3 strikeouts and a walk. Let's see if he can get Rowand out again. That's the litmus test. Get Rowand and Molina out.
That's a good move because Torres had a huge jump during the Randy Johnson at bat, and had Johnson not fouled it off, he would have stolen the base. So Sean West trying to show him a move and don't let him get that walking lead. Okay, a little snap move. Show him a couple of things. Keep him honest over there.
You think as a base runner that thing around his neck weighs him down a little bit?
I'd be afraid with a head-first slide, you might yank it around the bag.
You might lose a tooth.
Speaking of head-first slides, unfortunately, Cameron Maben dislocated his finger last night, a head-first slide, and is going to miss some time.
He's running, got a huge jump. Paulino's throw.
Yeah, no chance.
Third stolen base for Torres.
you get a jump this big, and Ronnie Paulino does everything perfectly. Gets up, quick throw, perfect accuracy, but too late.
Rowan to left. Coughlin's out there, and he makes the catch. An uneventful third for Sean West. By Checkers, Little Place, Big Taste. By Corona, official sponsor of the timeout. By Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And by Prestige Audi. Just 2 minutes south of Aventura Mall. 1-866-7-MY-AUDI today. In South Florida tonight, 3-0 thanks to Brett Carroll's first big league home run as Wes Helms steps in. And Randy Johnson delivers a breaking ball for a strike. We check in with Frank Fort. Frank?
All right, and the guy who caught that ball, Rich, is Joe Scherer, loyal Marlins fan. You come prepared with the glove? That was a tough catch, though.
Oh, thank you, Frank. Yeah, I come every game and I use this glove. I call it Big Brown. I was fortunate last year to catch Griffey's 600 home run ball. In fact, it was almost a year ago tomorrow when I caught the ball, so it's kind of fortuitous that I catch this tonight.
Brett Carroll's first major league home run, and from here I guess they're going to take you downstairs and hopefully after the game get to meet Brett, and you don't have any problem giving him the ball.
No, I'm going to congratulate Brett. It's a milestone first home run for him, and I'm very happy for him.
Well, hopefully you'll get a signed bat or a ball, something like that, right?
Right, that'd be great.
How many home run balls have you caught? You mentioned the Griffey one almost a year ago. Have you caught more than that?
Actually, this year I caught a Hanley Ramirez ball and a Dan Uggla home run ball, so this is my third this year.
Which is why you like to sit out here, the home run alley, right?
Yeah, this is a great place. It's too bad other people don't take advantage of it because these are great seats. It's a great place to see the game, and you get a chance to catch a home run ball.
All right, Joe. Congratulations on the catch, and I know you'll congratulate Brett Carroll along with the rest of the Marlin fans on his first big league home run.
Thank you very much.
All right, Rich, back up to you.
You know, what a great contrast.
Oh, I'm thinking the same thing. Go ahead.
With him as compared to the knucklehead in Milwaukee that wanted to hold Coughlin's ball for ransom.
For Chris Coughlin's first home run.
For
ball.
Hanley Ramirez stuff.
Nice going. Very representative.
Yes. Here is Hanley Ramirez. High pop.
First pitch swinging, 2 at-bats for Hanley. He's 0 for 2. Well, here's that Chris Coughlin home run in Milwaukee. Good catch. No denying that. But it was the post-game activities that was not right, but Chris did get the ball.
Any guy that draws up a list of demands in return for the ball
By the way, in case you are wondering, the first ever home run that Randy Johnson allowed in his Major League debut in September of 1988 was hit by Glenn Wilson. Remember the outfielder, Glenn Wilson?
Wilson then homered his next time up, too. He hit back-to-back home runs. Somebody asked Johnson this last week what he remembered about his first start, and he said that Glenn Wilson was really good. Cantu with a base hit. Here comes Uggla. Uggla single back in the second. Johnson is one of 3 active players with at least 22 seasons in the major leagues. We see one of those guys all the time in Jamie Moyer. The other name is an interesting one, and it's Gary Sheffield.
We just saw Sheffield.
Yeah. Sheffield, of course, got to the big leagues a lot sooner than either Moyer or Johnson, because both Johnson and Moyer were college pitchers. Johnson at USC, Moyer at St. Joe's. And Johnson also was a basketball player at USC. That one goes to the screen. Not sure wild pitch or pass ball.
Well, bounce looked like it scooted off the plate and got under the glove and legs of Benji Molina. Wild pitch. We'll have a few days of Molinas, too, with the Cardinals coming to town.
Oh, joy. Yadier Molina.
Yadier Molina.
Yadier Molina defensively is where his brother was 5-6 years ago. Yadier won the Gold Glove last year.
Yadier probably the best defensive catcher right now in the National League.
And Benji, of course, won 2 Gold Gloves with the Angels. There is Cantu.
Fun to get all kinds of notes with Randy Johnson. Brett Carroll becoming the 7th player to hit his first Major League home run off Randy Johnson.
Uggla walks. Johnson's pitch count is up at 53.
And you realize, Rich, only 6 Marlins now have homered off Randy Johnson.
Who are the others?
Mike Lowell, Kevin Millar, Preston Wilson, Jeff Conine, and Alex Gonzalez. So Brett Carroll joins that list.
That's a pretty good list.
I won't bring up the other numbers of Niner off Randy Johnson.
Oh, the career numbers?
Well, we have to.
Sure.
He does have the home run, but 2 for 15. Of course, he saw him in those early days. Remember the other night he said George Brett sat?
Yeah.
He got the start
in Kansas City.
That was in the early days. But only 4 strikeouts of that 2 for 15.
Drilled, hooking, foul.
You know, you give Randy Johnson a tremendous amount of credit for starting tonight on 3 days rest. You know, they had that doubleheader, so the doubleheader kind of messed up their rotation. And he realizes with him starting tonight, their rotation can kind of just fall into place and stay pretty much the same. They head on to Arizona. They actually start a series against the Diamondbacks tomorrow night.
Cantu at second, Ugglas at first with 2 outs. Johnson 0-2 on Cody Ross. Little tapper that Molina gathers in and fires them out. Marlins leave a couple, but lead at 3-0. And Yankees, a 5:05 start. First 5,000 dads get a Marlins t-shirt courtesy of Metro PCS. 1-877 Marlins or visit marlins.com. Sean West bends one in there to Edgar Renteria with Randy Wynn and Benji Molina to follow in the 4th in a 3-0 game. A Brett Carroll home run, producing all the runs for the Fish. Renteria gets jammed on a high fastball.
It's a good sequence. He bent that nice breaking ball in, then came back with something harder, the fastball, and tied him up a little bit. That's one thing he's done so well tonight. Move the ball in and out and change speeds a little bit. There's the target inside. He gets it there, and Edgar tried to cheat a little bit to get to it, but couldn't quite get there. But the whole sequence of the first pitch really set up that pitch.
I have heard some hitters.
Another one started off Wynn with a nice breaking ball.
I've heard some hitters say that sometimes they find it easier to hit in the big leagues than, say, at AAA because the pitches are around the plate, conditions are better, all of those things. What about for a pitcher? Can it be easier to pitch at this level?
I don't think so. I kind of agree with the other assessment. But I think up here, if you make mistakes, you're going to get hurt. If you make mistakes in the minor leagues, sometimes you can get away with them. You're going to have more aggressive hitters in the minor leagues. I think there's more patience up here.
Randy Wynn, strikeout victim, his first time up. Benji. Helms. 2 down. It's the 4th inning. That means the Duck is right around the corner.
He's stepping out in this kind of weather.
All right, Randy Johnson, which team has he beaten the most? So who is a guest to Roy Oswalt? It's the Reds. That's the team that he's handled best. Smacked to short. Hanley makes the catch. 1, 2, 3. A brief fourth inning for Sean West. The Duck isn't even going to wait for an introduction. Just barges right in to the bottom of the fourth.
He didn't take long.
It's got to be a team in the American League West or the National League West.
Yeah, Randy Johnson. And how about that? The Rockies. I was going with American League because Randy Johnson, of his 300 wins, 164 in the American League, 136 in the National League.
Well, you would think the A's or the Angels.
Wow, yeah. You know, he had those 2 years with the Yankees, 05 and 06. 17-game winner each year, but it was like he was a disappointment to Yankee fans.
Well, yeah, because they wanted him to win 23-24.
Yeah.
Ronnie Paulino, Brett Carroll, and Sean West.
I think the Duck just kind of made a statement and said, I'm coming out when I want to.
I'm busting loose. We talked about his postseason and that great run in 2001 and its great postseason in '95 as well. Paulino hooks that one and hits it deep. That's a foul ball. And it's not caught. But Johnson, one of his signature games, aside from the perfect game and the no-hitter, he threw a perfect game a few years ago, and he had a no-hitter early in his career. In that '95 season, Seattle and the Angels finished tied, and it was a one-game playoff. They were then the California Angels for the AL West crown. And Johnson threw a 3-hit shutout and was dominant in beating the Angels.
That's the thing about Randy Johnson. He has, you talk about some pitchers, pitched some big games and won some big games.
Our Prestige Audi moment brought to you by Prestige Audi, just 2 minutes south of Aventura Mall. Call 1-866-7-MY-AUDI today. Great catch by the fan, big moment.
Yeah, it is. Look at that, great smile.
You can see how popular Brett Carroll is to this team.
He works hard, he plays hard, and always working at his game defensively, offensively.
Carroll smacks that one to left center field. Hits it deep. Rowan goes back. That looks up. And that's That's off the wall. Around second, BC's got a triple.
Oh, man. It is his second career triple, but his first this year. He's got the two tough ones out of the way for the cycle. Crushes this one. Deep part of the ballpark. Most ballparks, that's a home run. And Brett Carroll, 2 for 2. Wow.
How about that? I don't know that Freddie really knows what kind of bunter Sean West is. So it's hard really as a manager to put a squeeze on here if you don't know what the guy at the plate's capable of.
Yeah, it's a good point. You know, you're talking about the big games that Randy Johnson has pitched. You mentioned the perfect game. The only other 300-game winner that also pitched a perfect game, Cy Young.
Yeah, that's great.
Now, here's the twist to that question, the Affleck question, right? The most wins Randy Johnson has accumulated against American League teams. Boston, Texas, and the Angels, 16. He's beaten the Brewers 18 times, but some of that in the National League, some in the American League.
West hits a chopper out towards second. That's not going to get the run home. Burris makes a nice pickup. And the Rockies were, what, 19? And so the Brewers 18 times.
Yeah, Brewers 18, but some in the American League, some as a National League team.
The Marlins are going to pick up this run. They need Chris Coghlan to knock it in. Coghlan dirty from head to toe with a single and a stolen base and a strikeout already.
It makes you love guys like Coghlan and Brett Carroll, both filled with dirt right now, and we're only in the 4th inning.
Coghlan's got 4 hits in this series. Carroll with a 3-run homer and a triple. And it's 2-0. Chipper Jones has homered. And it's 2-1 Atlanta over Pittsburgh in the 4th.
It's amazing how it all comes back to Randy Johnson. Chipper Jones has 6 home runs against Randy Johnson, the most of any hitter. So thank you for bringing up Chipper Jones. By the way, Chipper Jones hit 2 last night and was 4 for 4 against Milwaukee. He's on a roll.
That's a strike. 2-2.
That's amazing. He can still throw 90 miles an hour. 45 years old.
Johnson knocks it down, picks it up, flips to first in time. And they leave Carroll at third. The Marlins have left 4, but still have a 3-0 lead.
Baseball está disponible en español vía SAP y es presentado por KFC. Caso de foul del venezolano Pablo Sandoval, 0-1 la cuenta.
Cookie and Raul join us now. Hi,
Rich
guys.
and Tommy,
Rich
how are
Tommy,
you?
how are you?
It's fun enjoying watching a 300-game winner, but also enjoying seeing the Marlins ahead.
No question. Sean West has done a great job on the mound. And what about Brett Carroll?
Yeah, PC with a home run.
Hey, what did Frank finally tell that fan? Was he able to negotiate Carroll?
No negotiating. The fan was happy to catch it and said he would give it to Carroll, no problem, and was just thrilled to be able to catch it. There were no negotiations. This
Not at all like Milwaukee.
Yep.
Great news.
Oh, that's
Great
good news
news.
for him. He's going to remember that the rest of his life. A home run off of Randy Johnson.
Oh.
That is something to remember. Tell him your grandchildren.
All right, we need a word for tonight. So how, Raul, would you describe Randy Johnson?
Randy Johnson, how would we describe him? Cookie, I'll let you take this one this time.
Wow, I think one of the greatest left-handers that we've ever seen in baseball.
En
Winning
español.
300.
No, pero en español.
español.
Uno de los más grandes lanzadores de todos los tiempos en las grandes ligas. 300 juegos ganados.
Wow.
Increíble.
All right. Electrical was our word yesterday for Lincecum.
Can you repeat all that Cookie said, Rich?
Grande Liga, I heard.
You got it.
And lanzador
Increíble, incredible.
increíble.
There you go.
All right. All right, guys. Have a good show.
All right, you too, guys.
Juan Uribe is El Batador here.
Well, so far tonight, Rowan is 0 for 2 and Molina is 0 for 2. So Sean West getting the guys who have given the Marlins trouble the last few years. He's made good pitches. He's came into this inning with 50 pitches through 4 innings. Randy Johnson 72 pitches through 4 innings. So he's been very efficient. A lot of first pitch strikes as well.
Uribe hooks that breaking ball into the seats. Uribe, of course, both he and Rowan part of the White Sox World Championship team in 2005. Hanley in the hole. And his throw is just in time. So there are 2 outs. $250,000 Mustang money tickets are now on sale. Register your non-winning tickets now through June 11th for a second chance to win great prizes that include a 2010 Ford Mustang V6 convertible, an ultimate Florida baseball weekend getaway, or $100 gas cards. Visit FLAlottery.com. Torres sends it out Coughlin's way. And West has another 1-2-3 inning. He's through 5, and it's 3-0 Marlins.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Marlins ballpark today. Purchase a current Marlins season ticket plan and reserve your spot. Call 1-877-MARLINS now. Make sure you don't miss out on premium seating in the new Marlins ballpark. Marlins baseball, it's where you want to be. 3-0 ball game. Wes Helms chops the first pitch from Randy Johnson out to Edgar Renteria. Throws Helms out. We check in with Frank Fort. Frank? Frank will be returning shortly. Randy Johnson returns to the mound down 3-0 in a grumpy mood, it seems, but that's kind of been his demeanor most of his career. That's kind of added to his whole intimidation.
That's part,
swagger.
Yeah, that's part of Randy Johnson.
Ferocity, all of those words. Never a comfortable at bat, and often a difficult guy to catch in terms of just the physicality. Reading that Sports Illustrated article, some of the catchers that have caught Johnson. We were talking about Dave Valley the other night. Hanley rolls one in the hole at short. Renteria, quick release, not in time. Hanley beats it out. And Valley, who would catch Johnson early in his career, used to wake up the next morning and his left shoulder would ache. And at first he wasn't sure what it was from, and then he quickly realized it was from all the high fastballs that he had to reach across the plate and catch that were 98, 99 miles an hour and up and out of the strike zone.
Had to be horrible to catch. You couldn't sit back and relax.
So Hanley has an infield hit. Here is Cantu.
I've seen a couple of runners get good jumps off Randy Johnson. See if Hanley's thinking that. A lot of that depends on how that groin is feeling. You know, he's been hampered with that for about a week. I think it's feeling better just watching him run up the line on that infield base hit.
Cantu lines it into center field. Rowan won't get it on a hop. And so Jorge has 2 hits. You would expect for Bruce Bochy, the Giants skipper, if Johnson shows any sign of wobbling or tiring, he'll be out to get him quickly. He's working on short days rest.
Yeah, and it's not taking him long there to talk to his pitching coach, Dave Righetti. And that phone may be ringing soon in the bullpen. Jorge Cantu came into the game 2 for 16 in his career, but 2-hit night tonight, 2 for 3 tonight.
Ugla has singled and walked. You were talking about the long list of great pitchers that the Marlins are facing in this stretch. The 3 Cy Young Award winners here for the Giants. Chris Carpenter tomorrow night. Roy Halladay on Friday night. John Smoltz is lurking in Boston. Ugla's little jam shot is going to end up in the glove of Rowan. Hanley's tagging. Rowan's got a good arm, and he almost threw him out. He's in there. Hanley just got in under the tag.
Boy, that was a little chancy on Hanley's part, but it answers our question as to how that groin is feeling. You don't want to make that last out at third base. So he tested the arm, which is a strong arm, of Aaron Rowan. And the throw just a little to the left. And Hanley got in there just before Uribe could put the tag on him. Good straight-on slide. And on the bag. Good job. Good call, too, by Brian Onora, third. Yeah, go on with John Smoltz, because I've been reading the same stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you want to line up imposing pitchers in this stretch, you could almost continue that. if the Marlins do face Smoltz in their 3 days in Boston. Ross turns on one.
And by the way, with Chris Carpenter tomorrow night, we mentioned Carpenter, the Cy Young winner for the Cardinals back in '05. Spent some time on the disabled list earlier this year, but Carpenter is 4-0 with an .071 ERA this year in his 6 starts.
So Smoltz, who won a Cy Young in '96, we could add him to that list. But still a little too early to tell who's going to pitch in that series.
We should check with our Red Sox insider as to the tentative Smoltz start.
Our statistician Scott Hopkins is. We don't go to Wikipedia or baseballreference.com. We just turn to Scott when it comes to the Red Sox.
And we're getting a Tuesday nod.
Really? So that would be what? 6 Cy Young Award winners in
about 12 days, less than 2 weeks.
That's pretty cool. Unless you have a bat in your hand.
Yeah, it's cool for us.
Yeah. How ironic is that if indeed Smoltz makes that start against the Marlins? The last pitch he threw in the big leagues was against the Marlins. Remember, the Marlins finally pinned a blown save on him.
I think he'd been 20 out of 20 in save opportunities.
And he was injured. Career in doubt. And that was last year, but Smoltz has come back with Boston. Randy Johnson, a man who looks tired right now. Two-2 pitch.
Kind of a good news, bad news thing, Rich. Of course, rain could play a part of this. Our Red Sox insider also telling us that we could miss Josh Beckett. We could miss Beckett.
Is that good this year or bad this year?
I don't know. He threw a pretty good game his last time out.
Johnson misses inside. Let's see if he will face Paulino or if Bochy comes and gets him. Paulino has walked and scored and struck out.
John Smoltz, 15-6. 20 career saves and a .272 ERA against the Marlins.
Johnson misses high with that fastball.
Closing in on 90 pitches now. We told you that Randy Johnson threw 78 pitches in Washington in his 6 innings to get that 300th win.
He's not going to catch Nolan Ryan in the strikeout race, as you see the bags loaded with Hanley, Cantu, and Ross. Nolan Ryan, 5,714 strikeouts. Johnson, about 4,850 right now. But there is one mark he could catch Ryan on, and that's career games with 10 or more strikeouts. Ryan did it 215 times. Johnson has done it 212 times.
Wow.
Little tapper up the middle. Renteria makes the play to first to get the out. Marlins leave them loaded here in the 5th. Big unit still rolling. Cardinals are probably already in town. They had a day game today. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, and then Thursday, a 12:10 start. For tickets, 1-877-MARLINS or visit marlins.com. In fact, the Cardinals beaten today by the Rockies 5-2.
All of a sudden, the St. Louis Cardinals have lost 4 in a row.
They were swept by the Rockies. Jim Tracy's ball club is playing better. A bunt, and West off the mound fires the first in time for the first out of the 6th inning. Sean West, in just his 4th big league start, has not given up a run, has not given up a hit. And the left-hander will not face Randy Johnson. Nate Shearholtz appears. So Randy Johnson goes 5 innings. A swing and a miss at a breaking ball.
Boy, all night, Sean West has been able to drop that breaking ball in. That time swinging. Many times he's thrown it for a called strike to get ahead with that breaking ball. That sets up the entire at bat. Another good one to get Shearholtz to chase it. Now see if he expands the zone, goes out a little bit further. There's a familiar face, Justin Miller, getting loose.
0-2 coming. And it stays at 0-2. And that Rockies win over the Cardinals. Jason Marquis won his 8th game. He's 8-4.
So he beat his former club.
Drive to center. Cody Ross got turned around, but made a nice recovery.
Have no fear, Cody's there. 14 out of 18 first pitch strikes for Sean West.
There's Ross with the 2nd out, so Shearholtz is out. Top of the order here is Rowan. He goes after a breaking ball.
11 straight have been retired now by Sean West after that leadoff walk in the 3rd inning.
Strike 2.
Youngster out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Captain Shreve High School.
He was born in Houston, then moved to Shreveport when he was 8. And he strikes out Aaron Rowan. 6 no-hit innings for Sean West. How about this? The Coors Light Freeze Cam. Freeze it. Oh, Brett Carroll's first career homer and a great catch by the fan in left. That was the Frost Brute Coors Light Freeze Cam. And that's the difference in this ball game, is that swing of the bat. That off Randy Johnson, who is no more for this game. Justin Miller takes over. And he'll get Carroll, Sean West, and Chris Coghlan, and of course Miller, a former Marlin.
And the right-hander putting together some good numbers this year with San Francisco, as he did last year as a Marlin. Lots of sliders. We'll see some fastballs, but he loves to use his slider, and it's a good one. Spent a little time.
Brett Carroll. And now he's got the single. He's a double away from the cycle.
You can't stop him. You can't stop BC.
The 3-run homer off Johnson came in the second. The triple came in the fourth. And this bunt single here in the sixth.
That's a heads-up play, too, because he saw the third baseman, Juan Uribe. Uribe saying, hey, this guy's gone deep. He's hit a triple. And all of a sudden, because he's back, Brett Carroll almost squared to bunt because he knew he had the third baseman back. If he could just get it down, he'd get the hit, and he did.
You know, the Florida Marlins have never had a hitter hit for the cycle in their history. West trying to bunt. It's one of the real oddities is that this is the 17th season of Marlins baseball.
And a team that's had 4 no-hitters.
4 no-hitters and no cycles. And yet tonight you've got Carroll, who is a double shy of the cycle, and Sean West, who's put zeros up on the board through 6 innings.
It's a nice combo. I like the ring.
That's a foul ball. 2,582 games, not counting tonight. And no cycles.
Well, the 3 hits for Brett Carroll, the 3 hits are a career high in a game. He's had a few 2-hit games.
Earlier this year, Jeremy Hermida was a triple shy of the cycle. He had 2 at-bats after getting the homer, double, and single. But as Hermida pointed out, and as everybody knows, the triple's the toughest one to get. And Carroll has that one out of the way.
Sean West upset it himself, not getting the job done. He makes better contact right here. With the helmet.
Now Coghlan, who's 1 for 3.
That Justin Miller last year spent a little time on the disabled list with an elbow flare-up. Became a free agent and signed with the Giants.
Justin, 2 seasons with the Fish. 07, he was 5-0. With a 3.65 ERA. Last year, 4-2.
Always pretty steady as that 6th, 7th inning guy. Came in and got some big outs against some right-handed hitters.
One and 2. Coghlan, the Ole Miss product, grew up in the Tampa area. We will see one of the proud sons of Tampa tomorrow night. Tony La Russa and the St. Louis Cardinals. Two. Carroll's at first.
You know, we've talked about that Cy Young pitcher tomorrow night in Chris Carpenter. It's a great matchup because Josh Johnson's pitching for the Marlins. And you put those two right-handers opposing each other, it'd be a good game to watch. A good game to come to as well.
Opens a 3-game series. Carroll's running, pitches inside, Coghlan walks. And we check in with Frank Ford.
All right, guys, thanks very much. As you know, tomorrow night is rounds 1 through 3 of the Major League Baseball draft, and we were asking Freddie Gonzalez before the game if he remembered his draft day. It was back in 1982 out of Southridge High School in Miami, a 16th round pick of the New York Yankees. Freddie said he signed for $30,000, pretty good money for a 16th round pick. He said he got a signed letter from George Steinbrenner welcoming him to the Yankees. He said, you know, my parents probably have that letter somewhere around the house. The other thing he said was a couple days after that, University of Miami actually called because they had a couple guys who were committed that actually signed major league contracts, and they wanted to know if Freddie was still interested in coming. But by that time, he'd already signed. Freddie spent 6 years in the minors in the Yankee organization before he started his coaching and managing career. But draft day always brings back a lot of memories for these guys in uniform. Rich and Tommy?
Wes Helms at the plate. Always enjoy hearing Freddie talk about his big league spring training camp, the one big league spring training he got to participate in with the Yankees. And the manager of the Yankees never got him an at-bat. He never got an at-bat during that time with the big league club in spring training.
And it's something that Freddie's always remembered. And now as a manager, he'll have guys in camp who, you know, after a week or two, you're going to send them out. He tries to get them that at bat.
The manager of the Yankees at that time was Lou Piniella. Helms takes down low.
Did we say anything to Lou about that when we were in Chicago? We should have reminded Lou about that.
What are you going to do? Three-one pitch. Helms walks. Miller has loaded him up. One single by Carroll and a pair of walks.
Well, an opportunity. And during a stretch where the Marlins just haven't, they've won a couple, lost a couple, won a couple, haven't really put anything together. They've been searching for those big base hits, the hit that can open up a game. And here's an opportunity for Hanley Ramirez to do it right here.
Hanley had the infield single to show for 3 trips against Randy Johnson. High fly ball. Win deep enough to score Carroll, and Coghlan's going to race to third as well. The Marlins had a run. Busy night for Brent Carroll.
Hanley gets the fastball from Justin Miller, lofts it deep enough, does a couple of things, gets the run in, and also allows Coghlan to go from second to third.
Sean West.
He likes the little added cushion.
Cantu's 2 for 3.
3 out of 4 bats tonight. Hanley has swung at that first pitch. I think sometimes when he gets into that situation with bases loaded or men in scoring position, even though he's hit well in that situation, a little too anxious. Doesn't make that pitcher come to him.
Here's the 1-1 to Cantu. Marlins facing Randy Johnson tonight. Got to him for 3 runs on 1 swing. The Brett Carroll homer in the 2nd. At the corners with 2 outs in the 6th. The Giants, who started this trip in rainy Washington, D.C., and have seen rain throughout this 4-game series here in South Florida, are headed to warmer and drier places. They're going to Arizona after the game to open up a 3-game series with the Diamondbacks.
Temperature in the dry 90s. They won't have to worry about rain. They can thaw out, and I'm sure they'll enjoy that series against the Diamondbacks.
Cantu on a hop to Burris. Fish add a run to the 7th. Sean West comes back out with a 4-0 lead. The Marlins have 4 runs and 8 hits. The Giants don't have a run and don't have a hit. And it's the 7th inning. And Sean West climbs to the mound. He'll face the teeth of the Giants order. Renteria, Wynn, Molina. Breaking ball. There's the first hit into left field.
Yeah, that's a smart hitter, too. We've talked about it all night, how Sean's been able to drop that breaking ball in for a get me over, get ahead strike. Well, Edgar Renteria is a smart hitter. He went up there and he said, okay, I'm going to look for that breaking ball. He got it, put a good swing on it. He's had some good swings tonight. Remember, he lined out to right field back in the 1st inning.
You know, to pitch a no-hitter, a lot of things have to go right. And one of those, especially late in the ball game, for a pitcher, you really don't want your offense to have a long inning. And the Marlins, in the bottom of the 6th, there were 2 walks, the bunt single. It was probably a good 15, 20 minutes between being on the mound, himself coming to the plate, and then getting back out there for Sean West. You would like, if you're on a roll and you haven't given up a hit, to come in, catch your breath, and go right back out there.
To his credit, though, he came in, started the inning with a nice pitch, a pitch that he's thrown, and he actually threw the same pitch to Wynn to start him off with a strike.
Wynn fouls it back.
The Giants have 3 switch hitters in their lineup. Randy Wynn, a veteran, we've talked about him this whole series, but coming into this game, he's 0 for 2 tonight. Hitting just 136 against lefties. So that number has gone down a little bit.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Mark Wiley watching. His 22-year-old lefty, whose birthday is in a week. His pitch count.
Pretty good. Just 75. Look at, he's had a couple, 2 of the last 3 innings, the 4th and the 6th. Single digits.
Wynn pulls that one foul. 3-2.
You know, we've talked about Roy Halladay. The Marlins will probably see him Friday in Toronto. He beat Kansas City last night to go 10-1. A complete game, 97 pitches. So that's how tough he's been.
Ground ball, Hanley. Got one, Uggla's turn. Wynn can run, and he's safe.
Good job, though, by Hanley to get over there, get the ball, make sure to get the 1 out at second base. Had to move to his right. Randy Wynn's going to beat that out. Doesn't matter who's playing second base.
Now Molina, who's lined out and popped out.
Get Molina to hit that ground ball at an infielder, and Sean West can get out of the inning with a double play.
We were talking earlier about the coinciding nights of Sean West, who had not given up a hit until here in the 7th, and Brett Carroll, who is a double shy of the cycle. And there are rare feats in baseball. We need to get our crack staff to tell us if there's ever been a cycle in a game in which there's been a no-hitter pitched. Oh, 2.
I do remember one time checking, because I always thought that there would have been fewer cycles than no hitters, but I think there have been more players hit for the cycle than there have been no hitters.
High pop. Uggla's out. Carroll is in, and that's the 2nd out. Sean West has handled Benji Molina, and there aren't many guys in a Marlins uniform that can say that.
And Aaron Rowan, who's 0 for 3, trying to extend his hitting streak to 18 games.
Number 48, first baseman Carlos Sandoval.
Sandoval fouls it back. We check in with Frank Ford. Frank?
Guys, I hope you noticed Pablo Sandoval's routine when he comes up to the plate. This is for a relative who's passed away. He makes a cross right at the edge of the batting circle, and then he'll come to the plate. He'll step out in front, both shoes, a couple of times, whack himself in the head. That part is just basic baseball superstition. Although I suspect, Tommy, back in your day, if a guy took a couple steps toward the pitcher like that, especially a guy who's only been in the big leagues for a few months, that next pitch might be up and in.
Yeah, you may have guys throwing that pitch before the guy got settled in the box.
He's a lot like a Meziga in that you just follow him around and he's fun to watch. He has an infectious enthusiasm. He's in constant motion.
So what you're saying is the Giants could have a Sandoval cam.
I think they would probably call it Panda Cam. Ugla couldn't get it with a dive. Carroll up with it.
Not thinking Sandoval would go that way. Ugla, a couple of steps shaded up the middle. Couldn't get to that ball to his left. Sandoval's hit a little bit better this year right-handed. So not only is he shown that he's a good hitter, he's a switch hitter and hits equally well from both sides.
So the Giants have their first hits off of West.
Well, when you look at what the 22-year-old has done tonight, high fastballs, he's dropped that breaking ball in numerous times, gotten a little help from his defense, but he's moved the ball around, up and down, in and out, and even helped himself with a play to first base. 4 strikeouts in the game, and that first base hit on that breaking ball. First pitch, Edgar Renteria.
Marlins bullpen gets rolling. So West goes after Uribe.
Certainly have to be careful. You mentioned Juan Uribe, instrumental in the White Sox World Series in '05. Hit 16 home runs that year for Chicago.
He had a dozen postseason hits, and one of his old teammates was re-signed by the White Sox today, Freddie Garcia, a Miami resident.
A Miami resident and a very close friend of Ozzie Guillen. Though I'm sure Ozzie had something to do with that signing.
A 1 pitch.
White Sox playing a split doubleheader tonight. At day game, Detroit beat the White Sox 5-4, and Chicago has a 4-0 lead in the second game.
Not many games in the National League tonight. Uribe swings through that fastball. West has been outstanding tonight.
Good fastball here by a pretty good fastball hitter.
One, two. First base, Cantu.
Good job.
Got it. So Sean West gives up his first 2 hits, but not yet a run. 4-0. With the AT&T Rapid Rewind. The nation's fastest 3G network, AT&T, your world delivered. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutton, Frank Fort in South Florida. Sean West feeling pretty good right now, 89 pitches.
See, he's feeling, it's kind of a catch-22. He's feeling a little better now because guys are talking to him on the bench. When he had the consecutive innings, 6 straight innings of no hits, it was kind of quiet over there. But now guys feel a little easier talking to him.
Ugla Ross and Paulino against Justin Miller. Second inning for Miller in relief of Randy Johnson. That hit him. So Ugla's aboard. That means we might get to see Brett Carroll hit here in the 7th.
Fastball just gets away and catches the jersey top of Dan Ugla.
And if you're wondering why it's notable that Brett Carroll hit in this inning, for 2 reasons, really. First of all, he's got 3 hits, and his 3-run homer was the big blow against Randy Johnson. But he's a double away from the cycle. And no Marlin has ever hit for the cycle. There's a look at BC. Ross 0 for 2. Sharp ground ball. Uribe. Nice turn by Burris. That's a difficult turn for a second baseman that arrives to the bag after the ball gets there. He was off balance.
Yeah, he didn't. He was playing over, and Uribe got that ball to him quickly before he got there. So this is a good 5-4-3 double play. It's a checkers double play. And he's just getting to the bag, a little off balance, is able to turn, plant his feet, and make a strong throw. And unfortunately for Cody Ross, 2 quick outs, but nicely turned by the Giants.
Giants are high on Burris. He was a shortstop, and he showed off that arm on that turn.
Yeah, they like his defense, his range out there at second base.
If they could just add some offense, I think the Giants would definitely make a run at the wild card spot. Maybe not at the Dodgers.
Yeah, the Dodgers right now have a 8-game lead on the Giants, but the Giants in second place by 3.5 games.
This rotation is so good. The bullpen is solid.
And San Francisco is going to catch Arizona. They're going to be a little worn out by the time they get back home after that 18-inning game they had last night in San Diego. An incredible game.
Mark Reynolds ended it with the home run off of Josh Wilson,
an infielder.
And the funny thing is, earlier in the year, Wilson was with Arizona, and he pitched for them as well.
Oh, there were some crazy things. The Padres, the final 9 innings, didn't get a base hit. They were held hitless. The game was tied by San Diego. They got 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th.
All right, this is Brett Carroll's night. This is the 3-run homer. This was against Randy Johnson. This was the triple. And the bunt single. And a breaking ball for a strike. So a double shy of something that no Marlin has ever done in 16+ years of baseball. That's it for the cycle. Behind the count, 0-2.
Now let's see. He has 2 career doubles.
The homer in the second was his first career homer, and it came against a Hall of Famer. Brett Carroll played his college baseball at Middle Tennessee State. That will not be a double. And Carroll is the last out here in the 7th. 4-0 Marlins.
Frank Fort, Rich Waltz, and Tommy Hutton with you. Tomorrow is Major League Baseball, the start at least of the Major League Baseball draft. It'll stretch over the next 3 days. And tomorrow on Marlins Live at 6:30 on Sun Sports with Craig Minervini, we'll have a draft preview. We'll tell you about the Marlins' philosophy as they approach the draft. We'll hear from a couple of their scouts about how they do their jobs. And we'll talk with head scout Stan Meek, who makes the final decision on draft day. Rich and Tommy, by the way, that's all a prelude to our next Inside the Marlins, which debuts on the 17th. We call it Scouting the Search for a Star, all about how the Marlins approach scouting. We spent some days with some scouts, area scouts on the Marlins staff to see how they go about finding, identifying, and evaluating players. It's going to be a very interesting show. That's coming up on the 17th, and tomorrow on Marlins Live we'll have a draft preview, so look for that.
Are you going to be in the war room, Frank?
Actually, we are not physically going to be in the war room. We are told the Marlins are going to be providing us with some video from that. That's just kind of the end of that show. We'll wrap it up as to who they picked this year. But the basis of the show is all about the process of scouting. We were several different places on the West Coast with the Marlins scouts, up in Sebring, Florida, at the Florida Coaches Association High School All-Star Game, as Stan Meek and some members of his staff were looking at Florida youngsters that potentially could go in this draft to the Marlins.
Well, needless to say, an exciting couple of days for youngsters all around the country.
Well, for Sean West, an exciting night. And, of course, West, a first-round pick back in 2005. He was the last of the first-round picks for the Marlins, a sandwich pick, 44th overall. And, of course, the sandwich picks are the compensation picks that the teams get for losing free agents, and they come between the first and the second round. You're still technically a first-round pick, but they've grown to calling them sandwich picks.
Well, he's still dropping in that nice breaking ball, getting ahead, and then getting the Giant hitters to chase it. So he gets the strikeout, 5th strikeout of the evening.
Now, we saw Leo Nunez down in the bullpen getting loose. And West is approaching 100 pitches. If he finishes the 8th, who gets the 9th?
I think we should see Matt Lindstrom so he can get some work. Try to, if what Freddie Gonzalez has said, we're trying to develop a closer. If that's the case, get him out there then in the 9th inning and see what he can do.
And for the Marlins, if that's the case, it would be nice to have West finish this inning so that they can keep Nunez as an escape hatch or a safety net.
Well, he's going after the pinch hitter, Rich Aurelia. His fastball is still in the low 90s, and he's still throwing free and easy with some nice rhythm out there.
Aurelia pops it up
and gets out number 2.
Cantu. Just 2 singles. That's all Sean West has given up. They came in the 7th inning. Edgar Renteria broke up the no-hitter. Pablo Sandoval with a base hit as well. And the Giants are going to dip onto their bench and bring Eli Whiteside in.
Eli Whiteside is like for the Giants, is like the Maytag repairman with Benji Molina, who seems to play every day. He's their backup catcher. Doesn't get a lot of action.
Yeah, we were marveling at Jason Kendall and how many games he plays and the games that he rarely misses.
And he's even a year or 2 older than Benji Molina.
So we've seen 2 of the real Iron Men. Whiteside swings and misses.
Well, you know my feeling. Send him out there in the 9th inning.
That would be another option to pitch the 9th. Sean West, a 1-2-3-8. Sean West has gone 8 innings and given up just 2 hits. And from the reaction when he came in,
well, 104 pitches, 74 strikes, 19 first pitch strikes. And look at that smile from the pitching coach, Mark Wiley.
That's good to see. So West, on a night where he gets to start against his boyhood idol, Randy Johnson, takes a no-hitter into the 7th. Will finish with 8 innings, 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, and the 1 walk. A very similar line and a similar night to his start in New York.
Richard Relia stays in the game. He's at third base, and Juan Uribe moves over to second.
And Merkin Valdez is now on the mound. Justin Miller went 2 innings in relief. Randy Johnson 5 innings in his start. Valdez numbers. Alejandro De Aza pinch hitting.
Pretty good heat there from Valdez, 96 miles an hour.
Marlins trying to split this series after taking 3 of 4 from Milwaukee, with the Cardinals coming in tomorrow night. The Cardinals swept by the Rockies. I believe that was the first time the Rockies had ever swept the Cardinals in St. Louis.
So a win here tonight will give the Marlins a 5-3 record on this homestand, the 2 4-game series.
So Diaz is aboard. He's a threat to steal second.
Talked about that matchup, Josh Johnson and Chris Carpenter. Wednesday night, it's Chris Volstad against Adam Wainwright, big right-hander. Andrew Miller and Todd Wellemeyer in the final game of that series, which is a 12-10 start on Thursday.
Coughlin to right, pretty well hit. Wynn finds it on the warning track. He was looking for it for a while. Our Just for Men Stay in the Game hold of the day. Marlin hold leaders. There will probably not be a hold in this one. Let's hope not. Just as Miller relievers keep their team in the game, you two can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color.
By the way, I like over the last couple of games the aggressiveness, a little more aggressiveness of Chris Coughlin. Notice how he just jumped on that first pitch fastball, and I'll tell you what, he just missed hitting one about 430 feet. He hit that ball well.
Jim Presley talking to us a couple days ago about Coughlin, in that once the first at bat is done, he has to lose the leadoff hitter mentality. Impressive in talking to Coughlin, who's obviously looking for some direction. It's his first time in the big leagues, first time as a leadoff hitter.
Well, and we've talked about the fact that here he is, his introduction to the big leagues. He's learning a new position and a new spot in the batting order, where most of the time coming up in the minor leagues, in college, he was the middle of the order guy.
It took our staff a good inning and a half, but they have come up with this.
Overtime.
There has never been a cycle and a no-hitter in the same game. It's happened 3 times in the same day, different games. Leo Nunez in the bullpen. Now, it's not a save opportunity, so to speak, at 4-0.
So I guess the question would be, well, I think we know the answer. If it were a save situation, Freddie Gonzalez has told us it would be Matt Lindstrom.
Fastball up and in. The Giants' 2 wins have been saved by Brian Wilson, and they've been anything but routine.
Base runners, a lot of pitches.
He walked the bases loaded in 1 of them. Marlins had 2 hits and left 2 on last night. Helms strikes out. Long night for Wes Helms. 0 for 4 with a couple punch outs. Here's Hanley.
Merkin Valdez has kind of slowed this pace down to an almost near halt.
Pirates have come back to tie the Braves 6-6 in the 7th. Braves have homers from Chipper Jones, Brian McCann, and a guy named Nate McLouth.
He's going to fit in nicely in Atlanta. Bobby Cox is going to love Nate McLouth. You were talking about Hanley earlier, jumping on first pitches. He let that one go by. It's kind of a good news, bad news thing with Hanley.
Valdez.
237 plate appearances this year. 89 times he swung at the first pitch. And when he's put it in plays, 19 for 49, a 404 average. I think we're going to get a bill from our crack staff after this one tonight.
This has been a big night for our research staff. Scott Hopkins, the leader tonight.
Yeah, they've been on their A game tonight. I'm not sure if this is an A game, but they've been on their A game.
There he is.
By the way, Scott,
we don't let him wear the Red Sox hat in the booth.
No. He has little Red Sox slippers, though.
Some Big Poppy news today. Big Poppy's eyesight is okay.
That might be bad news.
I didn't say good. I said big. Big Poppy news. His eyes were dry, though. He's going to get some drops for him. Whether that helps or not, we're not quite sure. All right, let's see if Nunez can finish this thing. you've got Yankees. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week, 4 o'clock Eastern on Fox.
Diaz stays in the game. He's in left field. So you put Nunez in Coughlin's spot in the lineup. And right now the drama for the Giants is in Aaron Rowan. He's trying to extend his hitting streak to 18 games. And as Sean West awaits on the bench, 3 outs away from a major league win for the first time.
Not a save situation, but it does kind of feel like one. Rowan, Renteria, a win, top of the order. There's West. Had a no-hitter into the 7th.
Boy, he was just outstanding tonight.
He was the pitching hero, the man that was just searching for that baseball, the hitting hero in this one. Brett Carroll's first big league home run, a 3-run shot, also tripled and singled. Marlins live after the game. If it ends at 4-0. And the Marlins get the win, and West does get his first big league win. I suspect he and Frank Fort will be chatting.
And we could possibly hear from BC too, Brett Carroll.
Ground ball, Rowan's hit streak is going to come to an end unless this thing gets extended.
Well, the longest one this year ended just less than a week ago. Ichiro had a 27-game streak. And the 17-game streak, the longest in the career of Aaron Rowan.
Number 16, shortstop Edgar Renteria.
Something's up with Nunez.
This is not good. Of course, Ryan Zimmerman had that 30-game streak earlier this year. Boy, that's not good news. It's something maybe when he ran over to cover first base. I think if you try to pick apart good news and bad news, it doesn't appear to be his arm or shoulder or elbow. They're looking at his left foot. A little drag of the left foot as he got over to first.
There's a tweak there.
It's like a little off balance as he started his move over to first base, but he got over there fine.
And there was no issue with the bag. Nunez can't keep his shirt tucked in, can he?
No, he can't. Okay, Rich, we don't like to let anything go and make you wait till tomorrow.
All right.
So the total number of cycles in the history of the game, 286. And the total number of no-hitters, 262.
And in this day and age of offense, I suspect the no-hitters will not catch up to the cycles.
Yeah, our friends at Stats helping us out with that one. Being a part of our crack staff.
Is Aaron working tonight? Oh, Tom is doing the bulk of the lifting at Stats. Aaron has Mondays off, we're told. Nice. Nunez, the 1-1. Up the middle into center field, a base hit for Edgar Renteria. $250,000 Mustang money tickets are now on sale. Register your non-winning tickets now through June 11th for a second chance to win great prizes that include a 2010 Ford Mustang V6 convertible, an ultimate Florida baseball weekend getaway, or $100 gas cards. Randy Wynn, 0 for 3.
Over on his little more comfortable side, his left side.
Mark Wiley pretty proud of Sean West tonight. 8 shutout innings, just 2 hits. Wynn fouls it back.
You know, you have to like the way he took the ball and threw tonight after that start that he had his last time out against Milwaukee, knowing that, you know what, a couple of poor starts, he could go back to Double-A. So he went out tonight. He went up against a guy that he idolized as a kid, Randy Johnson, and he was brilliant.
I think going into the night, Johnson was the headline of this game. Marlins facing a guy that had just won his 300th game. That Johnson
will go.
He'll be tomorrow's headline
against
Chris Carpenter.
Yeah, he'll try to pick up his 6th win and go 6-1.
Anyways, Johnson was kind of the headline going into this game, and he'll be part of the story if this finishes at 4-0, because number one, you've got that kid who will have beaten his idol to pick up his first major league win, and then you'll have Brett Carroll, whose first major league homer comes against a Hall of Famer.
I think it shows that young players, and we see it with the Marlins, a lot of the young players, you can start with Chris Volstad when he first came up, they come up and they're not intimidated, and that's always a great sign.
Well, Lindstrom is up with 1 out and a full count here in the ninth.
You know, and just to show you, I had special attention to this because we hear so much about the young pitchers, young players that come up, that it isn't all roses when they come up. The Braves yesterday debuted their youngster, their phenom, Tommy Hanson, in a game against Milwaukee. 6 innings, 6 hits, and 7 runs.
Nunez strikes out Wynn. So all that's separating the Marlins from a real nice win here is one Molina. Benji Molina.
Of course, that was a start in Atlanta that a lot of Braves fans thought would be Tom Glavine's start.
Do you think the trade for McLeod and the release of Glavine, which happened so close, runner on the way, a swing and a miss, Renteria will probably not be given a stolen base. No stolen base. Do you think that those two things happened by coincidence, or were they linked? The money they saved on Glavine, they put into the contract they received with McLeod coming.
All right, here's my answer. I think money had something to do with that whole Glavine situation, but I think the acquiring of McLeod and Glavine, I don't think it did. I think, if anything, the acquiring of McLeod at least allowed Braves fans to talk about a positive when there was the negative of not having Glavine. That may have took a little bit away from it.
Maybe taking some of the sting out.
Yeah.
0-2. Sean West looking for big league win number 1. Still 0-2. So tonight, here in South Florida, we see one starting pitcher make his 598th career start, having won 300 games in the big leagues. And that lefty making his 4th major league start, a chance to win his first. The Molinas as a family are not easy to strike out. They're known for making contact. Popped him up. Hanley's calling and catching. Ball game. Sean West throws a gem tonight. Flirts with a no-hitter, settles for 8 innings. Brett Carroll hits his first big league home run. It's a 3-run shot off of Randy.